What is the first thing that comes to your mind when I say Kannada activism? Is it the Gokak agitation of the 1980s or the anti-Hindi agitation of 2019? Whichever it might be, it's true that the nature of Kannada activism has changed, from streets to the social media platforms. In the last month alone, there were multiple instances that riled up Kannadigas online. But are these overshadowing other issues that concern the livelihood of Kannadigas?
Current Kannada activism is towards bringing the federalism back to Indian Union, and it is more concentrated on language-centric consumer movement. It is more concentrated on mother tongue education. Okay. And it is more into getting a political strength to Karnataka.
According to Arun, the activists are currently working broadly in two areas. One is to keep the language updated by coming up with new words, especially in the field of technology, and also replace other language words with Kannada ones. Secondly, they are ensuring that Kannada is used as much as in everyday interactions, emphasizing on serving the Kannada consumer in her own language.
So earlier, what used to happen is when you say Kannada activism, it was more into the cinema or more into literature and all. Now, wherever you see, when there is an injustice done to Karnataka in Indian federalism, Indian Union, like a lot of Kannada activists are actually raising their voice against the injustice.
This has to do with the increased scope of activism, which has now expanded to include the common people, armed with technology.
When a villager went to the bank in Mandya and the man said the clerk said he can only speak in Hindi, and he asked him to get out of the bank, that created such a rage throughout Karnataka. Everybody, it reaches them actually, and they do respond to that. Not as an activism, they may not even be aware that they are behaving like an activist, but even common man who is not otherwise bothered about participating in anything activist, still he is responding to that.
This largely has to do with the nature of activism online that has the potential to go viral and impact as many people as possible. This also means that occasionally some issues that are relatively less serious may be blown out of proportion. Social media algorithms amplify emotional responses to an issue over rational ones. The case in point, Google results showing Kannada as the ugliest language. Ironically, these two can be blamed on faulty algorithms.
A lot of issues are very emotional, and people will get carried away with the troll pages running campaign, and lot of ministers, lot of MPs tweet against that. They don't speak when there is a real injustice to the people.
For instance, the EIA draft of 2020. Despite the High Courts instructing the Union government to publish the bill in all 22 languages of the 8th schedule, the government was less than enthusiastic.
In the democratic system, when you say you are not ready to translate the bill or laws into the people's language, it is injustice to the people. It is against the democracy. It is against the federalism. No one from Karnataka has had opposed it, be it BJP or Congress or JDS. Nobody opposed. On the other hand, the issues like Google or Amazon or another Google incidents will get a higher priority because there are few people sitting somewhere and they know how this works, how they know how the Google algorithms work. It is just algorithm, right? And I'll say that Google has given more preference to Kannada than a Karnataka government or Indian government.
The failure of the representatives from the state to address issues concerning language rights has led Kannadigas to shed the passive image and embrace an active role. Yet, there is always a lingering danger of linguistic chauvinism.
The Kannada identity is very different actually. It has its specific characteristics compared to the Tamil chauvinism or the Marathi. We do even the activism we do in a very different way. we may catch on to an issue and try to take it to its logical end, rather than get into the kind of abusive nature that you may find in other languages. I mean, I have seen this. If somebody says something bad and if they apologize, we are okay, we take it and we forgive, which is not a chauvinistic way of, fighting it, I think. It's not like, they are taken by the horn and, they are brought it to the ground. It's not like that.
Yet, recent incidents over the comments on Kannada film industry seems to suggest otherwise. While Kannadigas are slow to respond to other issues, apparent insults to any of the icons of Kannada language and cinema is quick to attract a barrage of hateful comments. What kind of activism do you envision to address language rights of Kannadigas? Let us know in the comments.